Guys, welcome to another episode of Founder Wisdom Podcast. We have Naresh Ravula with us. He is founder at Home Cuisines. Found him on LinkedIn. He's Canadian too, or about to become Canadian, as we are going to discuss. Startup mentored at Founder Institute, Western Can. So I think that's why I found you. And last time we discussed about the amazing invention that is food on Facebook Marketplace, which I didn't know about. I always use food ordering app, and I remember that back in Cancun, I was frequenting these groups of WhatsApp in which I would like ask people to come and ship me food, and they would walk and ship me some food for like 50 pesos. So thank you, Naresh, for that. Good gift. Happy stomach is a happy heart, or whatever the expression is. Nice to meet you. Give us a quick intro about yourself, Naresh, and tell us a bit more about home cuisine.
Yeah, sure. Definitely, Charlie. So thank you so much for first inviting me to the podcast. And when it comes to me, I'm originally from India. So I moved to Canada in the year 2017 to do my master's. And after that, I have been my background is into the software development, as well as I shifted from software development to software project management. And now I am a full-time entrepreneur. So when it comes to the home cuisine, so when I realized that when I came to Canada, in the during the initial days, I struggled a lot in order to find out a good, authentic, um, Indian cuisine where I can still connected with the food where I came from. But it seems like there are not many options, even though we have lot many restaurants, every street across the city. It was not as authentic as what we usually get it back at home. And that made me realize that, okay, is it some problem which I'm the only one facing, or is it some all the immigrants are facing the same kind of a problem? So I had almost 30 plus different interviews, not only with Indians, but most of the people who got migrated from different countries. So I had interviews with Africans, I had interviews with South Americans, and South Americans. I had interview with Europe people. And one of the thing what they very much connected is that their food. And now, because there are no options, they are adjusting with what they have. And when I mentioned about what do you guys think about having one of your neighbor, if it is a South American, so let's say that your neighbor is offering you some kind of South American dish, what do you feel? And they said that, wow, that would be amazing, because right now, let's say that I am a working professional and I don't have enough time to cook. Or maybe let's say that I immigrated to Canada 5 years back. So now I have kids. The kids are missing the South American traditional food. If you have this kind of option, I will be still in Canada, but my kids are getting used to the authentic traditional food which where I come from. And it was kind of the similar kind of discussions happened with not only just South Americans, but every person. And they said that if you're launching this one, make sure to inform me, and I would be happy to either be part of either a chef, or maybe to take the service as a customer. So that made me realize that, yes. So when I was doing the market research, I found out that approximately 25% of the North American people, those people are immigrants. And that means there is a huge market in terms of where all these people are struggling in order to find out the traditional and authentic food. That made me to realize and start working on my company, Home Cuisines.
Right. There's so much competition in there, though. Like, what will be your angle? You and I talked about compliance as well, which is a pain in the ass in Canada and the US. You know, a bunch of people say that, oh, the FDA is good and this and that. No, it's not. It just slowed down progress massively. It scared people. So I'm more of a libertarian, but that's another story. Like, how will you address these threats and potential dangers to your business model?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, whenever I talk about the neighborhood home food, most of the people talk about the safety and security. I completely understand. And we as a company, we are dealing with that one. So Just to give you a little bit, if you go back to 2010 or 2008, when Uber came into the picture, nobody is interested to join in other people's vehicle as a passenger. And when it comes to the Airbnb, the same thing happened. How can I go and stay in stranger's house for a duration of the certain period of time? But now you can see that in terms of the regulations, because the rules and regulations have been built in such a way that they are keep on adapting based on the market conditions and market situations. And that's what happened with the Uber, and that's what happened with the Airbnb. And coming to the food one, the governments are making the adjustments to comply with the user demands and the requirements. And when it comes to USA, it's almost 10 to 15 states, they already approved to provide the home food services to the customers.
Right. Great,
And when
right.
it to the sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah. So when it comes to Canada, so there is still a little bit of the discussions, and also the rules will take some time. But in terms of whether the rules are going to change or not, but we will be going to tackle with each and every province food regulations. And also we, in order to onboard the neighborhood chefs into our platform, we are making sure that whoever is onboarded into our platform, they know how to handle the food, and they will be having the food handler certificate. And we also going to do a bi-weekly or a monthly once inspection from our company side, to making sure that it's not only just we are providing authentic and traditional homemade food, but we are also making sure the security and the safety of our customers. So that is one thing. It's a long way to go, but yes, that is what how we are dealing with compliances and food safety.
I just had $1 billion ID for you, and you can steal it from me. Are you ready?
Yeah, definitely.
So last time, like you and I, we talked about technological solutions to problems rather than law/bullshit solutions to problems. Law doesn't scale, it's like really much imperfect, and it's the vaporware solution for a hardware problem. The problem with regulation, or the why behind food regulation is Canada is quite simple. The government don't wants their citizen to get food poisoning and die, right? So how can you do that? Well, you have an inspector come in the kitchen. That's a bullshit solution, because people can clean out the kitchen, remove the cockroach and all of that just before they come. Not scalable. I have a genius solution to that. Probably someone has already thought about that one, and probably that there's a bunch of challenges. It's better than my food thermometer that we talked about the last time, which would detect the presence of bacteria, poison, or anything in the food. It's actually a takeout box, and the takeout box changes color to indicate if there's bacteria poisoning, if there's too much mercury in there, or if there's something that will make you ill. So if your box doesn't change color, it means that the food is right. You would sell that to any types of business or people making food or restaurants. It would be a seal of quality, right? And they would do everything. They wouldn't be able to hamper with it. What do you think about that idea?
To be honest, I don't have much clue in terms of the devices which you're talking about. And definitely if there is a better way to tackle the food safety problem, I'm in it, because at the end of the day, it is the customers who will be going to consume the food, whether it's coming from the restaurants or is it coming from the neighborhood home. It's the end of the day, safety matters. And if there is a better way to tackle it, because as we mentioned, even the technical devices, when you wanted to talk about thermometer, because it's a small scale. If it is if it is a restaurant, it's a different story, because when we are talking with a small scale neighborhood home chef who wanted to prepare some kind of authentic food and sell it to the customers, again, when it comes to the technological aspect, having the thermometers and everything, it's all includes cost and other factors come into the picture. However, if there is a better solution in terms of dealing with the safety, I'm in it. So there is nothing wrong, because at the end of the day, customer safety is the priority. And if we are solving that problem with the various alternate ways, that's a good progress. I will definitely agree with that.
It's $1 billion idea right there. I'm gonna search if see if at least $1 billion, right? If someone's on that, I think the future of food is also more than just the bacterias, but like actually testing like your internal genes plus what is there in the food, and trying to see if there's an allergy or something, aka to see if after I ate this Indian food, how will I feel, because I might
Yeah.
enjoy it, might be delicious, but how do I feel afterwards? I think that's also very much the future of food, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a Y Combinator startup with that business ideas. But coming back to your business ideas, what are the next steps here? What's on the roadmap? Like, is it an app? And how do you want to kickstart that one? Are you looking for funding? What's the next step here?
Yeah, so we actually recently 1 month back we have launched our website, and just 3 days back we have launched our mobile app in App Store and Play Store. So now it's pretty much accessible, but at this point of time we are testing some kind of a pilot project back in India. When I was doing some kind of research, so when it comes to North America, as I mentioned, 25% of the population is immigrants. And when I was looking the stats about Indian market, even though it's India is a small country, the population is pretty huge. And surprisingly, what I realized was there is a lot of interstate immigrants where coming from one state to another state either to work or study, and still they are also facing the similar kind of a problem. So let's say I am from South America, sorry, South India, and people are coming from North India. So definitely there is a lot of cultural changes and the food changes and food habit changes, and I realized that there is a need for that one as well in India. And right now we launched our product in Hyderabad, India, and we have seen a huge positive response from the customers as well as chefs. And within a span of 1 month we got around 300 plus chefs who interested to be part of our platform. And we are slowly onboarding one by one, and making sure that they have all the facilities where they can prepare the food and sell it to the customers. And when it comes to the North American market, so we are making some changes to align with the market, North American food safety regulations and some kind of application changes. And we are hoping to tap the North American market, especially USA and Canada, most probably in the next 45 to 90 days.
Love it. Where can people find out more about you and your startup, Naresh?
So we have been up to date in our website, as well as we are up to date on our social media handles, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. We are making sure to reach as many people as possible, and we encourage people to go the website, look into the website and app. If they have any kind of suggestions or feedback, they can directly reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I would be happy to address all of those things and love to hear feedback. So as we are a early stage startup, we are looking for suggestions and everything. And at the same time, we are now in a stage where we are looking for our pre-seed funding, and I'm actually tapping some of the investors who are there in the space.